Hey guys, I'm Sarah Louise and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about self-concept, and I feel like it's one of those words that you groan when you're early on in the journey, because the last thing you want to do is work on yourself. You just want to affirm for your thing. You want your thing that you want, be it a person, be it a job, be it a certain level of abundance. And it almost feels like to work on self-concept is letting go of your dream. I know the feeling because that's how I used to feel about it myself. When I was earlier in my journey, I used to kind of almost groan about self-concept because it felt like going backwards. It felt not as useful. It felt like I was letting go of my desires. But as my journey continues, I am more and more invested in self-concept, and I realize it's actually the center of everything. If you're only going to do one thing on your manifesting journey, I actually think self-concept is the number one thing. I think you could almost let go of manifesting if you worked really hard on your self-concept. So self-concept is what makes us feel worthy of getting all these things we're manifesting. And I think you can bring things in from manifesting when your self-concept is low. But in my opinion, I know some people are going to disagree with me, but to keep hold of those things and to be able to manifest multiple things, it really is about building that self-worth, that self-concept, and that ability to believe that you are worthy of those things. Because a lot of what we do when we don't have self-concept or we don't have a good self-concept is we pedestal things. And I'm not even just talking about relationships and specific people, but it can be becoming successful at your job, becoming a creative, friendships, abundance. All of these things actually require us to have a good self-concept where we believe that we're worthy of these things and they're not somehow above us, outside of ourselves, and we're not pedestaling these things. Whenever you pedestal something, I think you can get it if you just affirm. And then you just momentarily get into that kind of let go enough energy that it comes in. But I personally find those things are much more difficult to sustain long term and have as like a nice stable if your self-concept is lacking. And over life, obviously, our self-concept improves naturally. Just as we work through life, whether you're into spirituality or manifesting at all, you're hopefully going to improve your self-concept anyway, because as we go, we tend to grow and evolve, hopefully. But you can actively work on improving it. And actually, a lot of my manifesting now has switched from being manifesting the things that I want to manifesting being the kind of person that would easily have these things and taking them off the pedestal. And what I realized was that there's two things with robotic affirming, right? I know it's become the real craze now, but I did robotic affirming about 11 years ago, and the reason I didn't really continue with it, every now and again I will pull it out of the bag if I feel I actually tend to use it if I feel a bit if I just feel like I need that rewiring boost for something because I've built a lot of bad beliefs around something and I just want to affirm and try and kind of neutralize them. But I never really jumped on it as a technique because I just do not believe that is what we are supposed to do as humans. I do not believe we are here on this earth and we're supposed to be looping around affirmations of every single thing constantly. It just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel joyful. The times in my life where I've done it excessively, I don't feel like I've had that, excuse me, I don't feel like I've had that glow, that heart-centeredness. I haven't really enjoyed my life as much. And when I think about it, do you know why I think that is? It's because if I'm looping something all day long, I'm really putting it on a pedestal. I'm basically saying I'm not enjoying my life at all unless I have that thing to such a degree that I'm willing to loop it all day long. Because I want that thing so much and I can't possibly think that I could enjoy this moment without it. Hence, all I can think about and talk about all day long is affirming this thing that I want. That to me, actually, when I sat back and thought about it more recently, I thought there is no greater pedestaling than looping something or somebody all day long. That is what else could you call pedestaling? You're not in your life at all. You're not present. You're not enjoying the moment. There's obviously nothing in your life that you're finding fun unless you could have that thing. Hence, you're willing to affirm for it all day. I personally feel that the way that we're supposed to manifest is that we're supposed to visualize something, spend a little bit of time on something every day, 30 minutes, an hour, a bit of time in the morning, maybe midday and before bed. And the rest of the day, I think we should be absolutely present in our lives, loving our lives, and letting go and flowing and allowing those things to come in. And if we're not in that place, then it's probably because our self-concept is a little bit poor, and we are pedestaling these things, and we are having to affirm and think about them all day because we're pedestaling that experience or that person to such a degree that we don't think we can have any type of life without them. Otherwise, we would be having moments of the day when we're like completely engrossed and focused in other things that we're doing. So I question this affirming all the time. I do think you can bring things in. I absolutely do. But to have a fulfilling life and to be able to naturally flow and manifest and bring things in, it doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't. I do not believe as humans that is supposed to be what we're doing, sitting there, oh, he's taking the bin out, he's taking the bin out, he's taking the bin out, he's taking the bin out. I mean... and then you could say, oh, well, I'm only going to affirm for really important things. But it just doesn't seem like the ultimate path to me. The ultimate path to me is actually loving life and being totally in the moment of life. And then spending a little bit of your day thinking about maybe, at some point, I think you have to spend none of your day there because it's all just a magic flow. But I certainly think at some points you sit there, you think about what you want to bring in, you do some nice visualizations or a few affirmations, let it go. And if you are putting yourself on the pedestal and your self-concept is really good, that really should be all we need. And if your self-concept isn't there, that's totally fine. We need to constantly evolve our self-concept. Even though mine's miles better than it used to be, it still, needs work. I think we can always be working on our self-concept. And I think a lot of our day should be focused on self-concept. So we take these things off the pedestal, we're loving our life, and then we can just very easily, I don't know how many of you have had those manifestations where you just think of somebody and they just message you because it was just a casual thought, or you think of something and you just see it or it pops in. The reason it's not that easy really is because we've put it on a pedestal and we've kind of made it out of reach for ourselves. Because we've put it on this huge pedestal and decided that our life isn't as much fun and not as worth it unless we have that thing, to the point where we're willing to think about it for the entire day, for weeks on end. And the thing is, when you're doing this looping stuff, it's never just one, if it's just one big manifestation, it might be different, but then it will be about another thing and another thing. And I don't know, if people love looping, then that's up to them. I'm not here to speak for what other people do. I'm just sharing my own experience. And for me personally, when I was looping things, I was not very present in my own life. B, I was kind of desperate for those things and I wasn't enjoying my present moment to the fullest. And when I don't do those things, and I work a lot more on building my own self-concept and trying to really, really enjoy my life, I don't feel the need or the desire to loop all day. And I don't actually feel like I need to do it to bring things in. Your manifesting journey is your manifesting journey. And I think there are times when we do need to rewire some heavy concepts. So if you feel drawn to it, you should definitely follow that. But I'm sharing my journey, and I honestly feel that where I'm at right now is not really wanting to pedestal anything outside of loving my life and being fully immersed in that present moment, and giving myself small windows to manifest, and then trying to take my energy completely off that thing and be immersed in something. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll speak soon.